I still remember when my father told me that I could be anything I wanted as long as I was a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or an accountant. As restrictive as that was, and even though I felt the heavy weight of expectations on my teenage shoulders, I didn't understand where he was coming from. We'd come from London, and Dad was in a very senior role and was given a company car and a company house. When we moved to Melbourne in '74, when I was just 9 months old, everything went pear-shaped. Dad could only secure a warehouse job. Mum was suffering from debilitating anxiety. We were living in government housing on rental assistance, and were doing it tough. Not just financially, but I was struggling at home and at school. Mum and Dad were screaming at each other constantly, and at school I was isolated, bullied, and beaten up just for being Indian. I didn't feel safe at school or at home. I felt ashamed of my family, ashamed of my culture, and ashamed of myself. I started becoming boisterous at school. I had problems maintaining friendships and was constantly in fight or flight mode, making me anxious and highly strung. The only time I really felt free to be myself and truly happy was when I was playing sport. I just loved it. I remember when my grade 6 teacher, Mr. Dickinson, came to our house and told my parents how good I was at sport and how well I was doing academically. My dad's face completely lit up when he heard such high praise from my teacher. Seeing my dad's pride drove me. It drove me to be the best at sport and to do my best academically. I started working hard at both, and by the time I finished year 12, I starred in our school cricket final, taking us to an impossible victory. I captained our table tennis team, which was undefeated for 3 years, and I even made the extended state squad. I got solid grades and got into uni, the first in my family. And can you guess what I did? Accountancy, and I ended up working for the #1 accountancy firm in the world at that time. And so I learned that as challenging as it was growing up, you can deal with difficulty if you're willing to work hard. You can handle hardship if you're ready to make sacrifice, and you can overcome adversity if you're daring enough to have a worthwhile goal. When you develop a growth mindset, you'll understand that your brain is like a muscle. The more you work at something, the easier it gets. Like me, you'll come to realize that struggle is good. In fact, if you're not willing to struggle and grind, then you're not willing to succeed. So build your resilience. We can't afford to be like expensive crystal balls, because when they fall, they shatter into 1,000 pieces. Be like a rubber ball, because when it falls, it bounces right back. On your journey to achieving great things, you'll experience disappointment, setbacks and failures. It'll be hard at times, and sometimes it will feel impossible. But keep your head down and keep moving forward. Be willing to sacrifice. Be willing to face your fears. Be willing to work. Don't be allergic to hard work. Embrace it, because willingness has no color, race, no gender, requires no money, and willingness discriminates against nobody. See, anyone can be willing. It's simply a choice. So don't ask yourself whether you're capable. Ask yourself whether you're willing. And if you choose to bring your willingness to the table, I'll guarantee you'll achieve your boldest goals. So join me on this exciting journey to be the best you can be. And together, let's make it happen.